Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, please subscribe down below, give this video a like, and today we're going to be using the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker Palette because it just came in yesterday and I'm just now getting the chance to use it. My son's birthday was yesterday and that was more important, so I'm sorry, but it is. It's my kid. I cannot wait to show you guys. Warning though, this palette does have some inappropriate words in it. It's Jeffree Star. He is who he is. He's unapologetic, but he does have inappropriate words as the shade name. So if you're uncomfortable with that, please click out now. Thank you to Rebecca Martin for being the first person to comment on my video yesterday, but also thank you. Just thank you. I want you to know how much I appreciate you from like the bottom of my heart. You are one of the most sweetest, amazing women I know, and I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're Vance's family and that I get to know you. I get to be a part of your life, and that's amazing. Okay guys, I got the Jawbreaker palette. I came in yesterday, but I had my son's birthday party, and I'm sorry, even though I love makeup, he's more important, so this got set aside till today, and I am so excited. I've opened it up and looked at it, but I have not swatched or touched any of the colors, and I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that beautifulness. So we're going to swatch these for you guys, and then I'm going to do a look for you. Okay, we got Virgin, Good Morning, Bubblegum, and Wow. A lot of these are pressed pigments, so the color is going to be richer. Now we have Suck, Licorice, Cute, and Fuck. He's not shy about his names. That's one thing. I'm most excited about the neon colors. I say that, and I probably won't even use a neon color first, but I am. Okay. These are just so soft. This is my first Jeffree Star palette, like one that I own. Now we have Gumdrop, Snack, Brain Freeze, and Jawbreaker. I really wanted the Brain Freeze palette, but when you're on a budget, sometimes you have to choose, and I'd rather have this palette than the highlight palette. So we're going to do this side now. And what? Orange Juice, which is one of the colors that I'm most excited about. Sour. And Soaked. Oh, that is so pretty! So we have Raspberry, Cotton Candy, Lemon Drop. Oh, you are pretty. And Bite Me. Gorgeous. But yeah, there's a lot of pressed pigments in here, so there's bound to be some staining. That's something to remember. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. If it stains, it stains. It is what it is. Okay. We have Cherry Wet, Tasty, Cone, and Delicious. So, alright, I'm going to put a base down on my eyes, and we're going to pop into this guy. Oh, this mirror is everything. It is literally everything. You know, some people think he's like inappropriate and rude and, you know, all these other things, but I like Jeffree Star because he is who he is, and he's not sorry for it. I like that he's not afraid to be who he is, even if people don't agree with it. I like he can admit he's wrong. Okay, we are gonna go in. I'm not 100% sure what color I want to go in with, but I feel like I'm gonna do like a hot pink and yellow look because I'm kind of feeling more of like a, I don't know, I've been feeling the yellow and I kind of am wanting to do something with gumdrop, so I think that's what we're going to start with. Anyway, we're going to go into bubblegum. Bubblegum, bubblegum. It's a pigment I wanted, yes. Some of these are pressed pigments, so they're going to be very, very bright, and they might stain. And being very, very bright, they might be a little bit more difficult to blend. I mean, not always, but that's something to remember and keep in mind, because when you're using a pressed pigment, there is a chance that it will be a little difficult to blend, and you just gotta work with it. Oh my goodness. Yes, honey, give me life. This may be a longer video because I'm doing both eyes, but I don't care. Hopefully you guys don't either. Yeah, I think I'm gonna also go into Cherry Wet and make this like super bright. Maybe pop a little bit of raspberry in there too, just to make it a little bit more. Cherry Wet is a little bit more fallouty. Like there's a little bit more fallout in the package. Just something to know. Just putting it out there. So I'm supposed to be talking to you guys, but I'm just kind of enjoying the makeup right now. My grandma and dad just left. I'm already missing them. I don't get to see them very often, but they're coming back up for my daughter's birthday in September, which is exciting. I love getting to see family. I'm really grateful that I have gotten to know Vance's aunts. I wasn't really close with a lot of Vance's family. Like, I'm comfortable with them, but I'm not really close to a whole lot of them. And here recently, talking to his Aunt Rebecca and his Aunt Eve. Like, I don't talk to his Aunt Eve as often, but I don't know. It makes me kind of sad because I wish I could have met his dad, but I am so grateful that I get to know them, and they've just made me feel so comfortable, and just accepted me. And I feel like that would be something hard to do, especially for what I do. Like, I know they watch my videos, and you know, if you're looking from the outside in and you don't understand, sometimes you might think that, like, you know, especially I've seen it, like, family members not understand the situation, and you think that, like, I don't care about my husband, or, you know, why don't I have a job, and blah, 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 blah. But, you know, every family is different, and different things work for different people. And they have just been the sweetest, kindest women ever. And I'm really glad that they have forced their way into my life, because it may not seem like it, but I am super shy, and I will be friendly and like sociable when I have to be. But if someone doesn't force me into those situations, I will not do it. And they've kind of just taken the reins and been like, okay, we get it, and just kind of like hung out and come over and visit. And I love it. I love that. And I know my personality is crazy sometimes, and I know I'm gonna put a little bit more bubble gum so we don't lose that color. I want a little dark with the raspberry, but I'm actually really enjoying it. But yeah, I know my personality is kind of hard to get along with. Just ask my husband. But yeah, I really do appreciate them, and I love visiting with them. They're so sweet and silly and goofy, and I wish I would have known his dad. I wish I could have gotten to meet him. And honestly, I know they watch my videos, and I'm starting to get comfortable in my videos, and like sometimes cuss words slip out, or things that I don't mean to say slip out, and I'm like, ugh. But I'm just, you know, I'm like that in real life. When I'm comfortable with you, I will, like, literally, I was looking back on old posts, and one of the big descriptors for me was, I made a post about it because I thought it was so weird. When I ask people what they think of me, or, you know, what's one word that describes me, it's always different. And I was like, you know, that sounds like a nice way of saying you're weird. And my aunt commented, like my aunt commented, and she was like, you're blunt, you're honest, you will speak your mind. And, you know, sometimes it's not always a good thing, but it's also who I am. And, like, I know I'm a little shy at first, so it's hard for me to open up. But once I do, it's like a floodgate, and it's hard to get me to close back up. And you're like, okay, you've overshared. Go on somewhere. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know my limits. But it's hard for me. And I just appreciate them being the people that they are, and, you know, not hearing me talk on YouTube every day and think, ugh, she's annoying, or I can't believe I have to put up with her at every family event. Or I just appreciate it. It's nice, because I feel like family. And I know that, like, I say that because I know my grandma and my dad make Vance feel like family, and although we don't see them all the time, like, out of my family, those are Vance's favorite people to see. They make him feel like he belongs with us, you know, and not everyone in my family does that, and not everyone in Vance's family always makes me feel like that. Like, they don't try to, it's just, I'm an oddball, you know? And so, like, sometimes I feel like the oddball out without even somebody trying to make me feel that way. It is what it is. You can't help it. I can't help it. That color is absolutely gorgeous. I knew I wanted lemon drop. Ugh. Anyone else disappointed with the way Stranger Things ended, by the way? It's a random thought that popped into my head. Does that mean the whole series is over? Or just, like, are they gonna do another series in our season in Russia? Or, like, does that mean it's completely over because, like, Hopper died, they're moving away, like, what the heck? Like, what the heck, Netflix? Disappointed. You know it? It's like, what in the heck? I was really enjoying watching the seasons, even if it took a full year to come all out and be a part of this. I'm going into cotton candy and, like, overlaying that on top of the lemon drop color. What you say? Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Come on. But random thought. We watched it this weekend. We watched the ending, and I'm just like, I'm not happy with the ending, but, you know, whatever. I've seen people say they're sad, but I've not seen anyone be like, what the? Because I am mad about it. And, like, I'm not trying to give spoilers, but, like, also, like, what the heck? That looks good. That looks good. I'm gonna go into a little bit of raspberry, a little bit more. Deepen up that just a tad. But this is turning out gorgeous. Everything I wanted in life. But yeah, my dad and grandma were talking about coming back up for Paisley's birthday in September, and I can't wait because we don't get to see them very often. And you know, I've told you guys how it is with my mom, so, like, I don't really talk to my mom or hang out with her that often or see her, you know, any of that business, so it's nice having family. I am one of those people that loves being around family, like, I just do. Family's, like, super important to me, even though, like, I don't see them. And, like, it makes me so happy that they're coming down, like, it just does. That's why and I know I'm jumping on the conversation, but that's why I'm so happy to have Vance's aunts because, like I said, we don't see family very often, and they'll just pop in whenever, and it makes me so happy. Especially because Vance likes seeing them, even though he doesn't like leaving the house or like going anywhere. Like, he likes it. When he doesn't leave the house for so long, he just really hates it. And my wings are so uneven right now. This eye look was pretty before I put eyeliner on. I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do my face makeup off camera, and then I'm gonna be right back. Alright, so I put my face makeup on, and I put some lashes on and mascara on my top lashes, and we're gonna go ahead and finish. I've been looking, and I don't know what color I want. I think I want to do the green or the orange. I'm not sure, but I think I should go with the green. I think I'm gonna go with the green. We're gonna go into sour. I'm just gonna pop that. Mascara everywhere. Mascara. Put don't like that. I like that. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but I like that green. But yeah. Talking about family, you know, if you're on the outside looking in, it may seem weird or different, or you may not understand. So it's really nice that his aunts understand the situation, because like his brother, super sweet, super helpful, has been super nice always, but last night when he was drunk, he made a comment, and I was like, well, I knew you probably felt that way. He was like talking about how I don't have a job and blah blah blah, and like I was trying to joke back, and I was like, gee, that's super hurtful. And he's like, well, you haven't had very many, have you? And like, I really wasn't trying to, like, you know, start an argument or anything, but you know, before I got with Vance, I worked at Referal's for almost 3 years. I quit, and I was almost afraid to quit. Like, I stayed for as long as I did because I was afraid to move on. I was afraid of what might come. I started immediately looking for jobs, and I took a job as a maid at a hotel. But it was super hard on my knees, and I tried it, and I was, you know, gonna stick with it as long as possible. But they were always complaining that I wasn't fast enough, and blah blah blah. It was hard on my knees, and it was just, I was also working at KFC. I accepted both jobs, and I was working both jobs. And then I started working at the school board, and I was working all 3 jobs, and I quit the hotel because it was not enough money for the amount of work that I was doing, and it was just, it was a lot. So I was working at KFC and the school board, And then I got a job at Kroger, and I was working all three of those jobs, you know, shuffling between them. And I was really for Kroger, and they started giving me more hours and time, so I quit KFC because I was only part-time at KFC, and started working like 40 hours at Kroger while also working at the school board, and everything was great. And then one of the girls that I worked with at Kroger, I was hired on in the deli, so I was a deli worker, and she was upset because she had been there longer, or deli bakery is the same thing for Kroger, and she was upset because she had been there longer, so she went up and complained, and they took my hours away that they were giving me because she had seniority, and she complained that it wasn't fair that I was getting out 40 hours or more a week when she wasn't getting 40 hours or more a week, because it's union based, and it goes in line from who's worked there longest, not who works harder. And she didn't want to work anywhere but the bakery frosting cakes because that was, she'd been trained to do that. And I was stocking boxes on thirds, I was a bag boy, I was anything anyone could give me, I would take up that shift, and I was working. And you know, because she complained, because she didn't want to do any other job, I lost all the hours I was getting. So then I started working at McDonald's. And when I met my husband, isn't that lovely? I was working at McDonald's. And the school board but my big problem was, even though I liked the school board better, one of the places I got most of my work from was a certain school that my ex's aunt worked at, and she was the head like person there. So when me and him broke up, I kind of like lost that in to that job, because I mean, family sticks with family. And so like I stopped getting as many calls, and I was trying to pick up as many hours as possible. So I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to quit so I can start working full-time at McDonald's. So I started working full-time at McDonald's, you know, doing my 40 hours plus some occasionally, because they would always hold me over. And my husband wanted me to pursue it and become a manager, and I was like, honestly, I hate working here. I would hate being a manager. I would be miserable. I don't want to do it. And so I ended up quitting and going into CNA work. And working at the nursing home was great. I loved working at the nursing home, but everybody I worked with was moving on. I was having trouble with, you know, it being a nursing home, most of my coworkers were women, and they're catty and all that business. So I spent a lot of time like having to explain myself on things I shouldn't have to do. But the nursing home was nice. It's just, they were always short-staffed too, so I was working 16-hour days all the time. And you know, if I didn't have kids, I'd go back. I would go back to a nursing home and work, because it was nice. It really was. But, you know, I can't just work 16-hour days all the time with kids. And so I moved to the hospital, and I ended up working over, and that was miserable. The people there were awful, and it was just, no. But I ended up quitting the hospital, and when I was like 6 months pregnant with my daughter, and I stayed off for a year, or almost a year with my daughter, and I went back to working at a daycare, and this is the part that gets me, okay? When my husband said, hey, you know, we need to find a job, I was like, okay, I can do that, and I started looking for a job. That comment makes it seem like I am unwilling to work or any of that stuff. But like, what's not understood is that I have not given my husband anything he doesn't want. I will get a job. I will work. I will whatever, you know, he wants. One of the issues we ran into looking for a job the last time he asked me to was he didn't want anybody watching our kids. He doesn't trust anybody watching our kids. So we were trying to work out schedules and stuff, working on opposite shifts, and that didn't work because any place that we found or that he was comfortable with me working would mean we would be on opposite shifts, and he'd be watching the kids, or at the time my daughter, when I was at work, and he was making way more money, especially when he got called into work. Like, at the times he would be off work, getting called into work where I would be working, and so he'd be losing out on way more money for me to be working a steady time and then him not go in. And so then we looked into, you know, like weekends and other stuff, and it's just me working thirds. That was an option, but we were like, that would suck because then we'd never see each other, and it would be stressful because we'd have a kid and we'd never be together, and it would put too much strain on our relationship. So I ended up working at a daycare, and when I ended up working at a daycare, you know, everything was great. I had my daughter there, but then, you know, I got pregnant with my son, and it was going to be way too expensive to have both of them in there because we're now paying for 2 kids. And, you know, we added it all up, especially living where we were. Now we could probably swing it because I could probably walk the kids to work. But living where I did, that wouldn't have been an option. Like, by the time I ended up being done working, I would have made like enough for gas to get back and forth to work. So it was just easier to stay home with the kids. Besides the fact that my husband doesn't trust anybody. Like, we were literally talking about putting my daughter in a schooling system to help her make sure she's caught up with all the other kids by the time she enters kindergarten. It's like a pre-K thing. It's free, but they will teach your kids, and he doesn't even want to think about it. And I'm like, eventually she will be in school, and I don't want her to be behind, and he is not for it. And this is like a government thing. So, you know, even though it looks different from the outside, you have to be on the inside to understand, and I really appreciate the family that does. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, just know that just because you don't know what's going on doesn't mean that it's not. And if my husband were to ask me to get a job now, I would. Like, it is what it is. Do I enjoy being home with my kids? Yes. Would I be upset about having to go to work? Yes. But would I do it? Yes. I mean, it is what it is. I just thought I'd put that out there. I know I might get some hate for it. I know that his wife watches some of my videos and she might be upset about it, but I don't mean it in a mean way. I'm just saying that me and my husband do talk regardless. I mean, we don't talk on a daily about everything, but the important stuff we do talk about, and we've discussed it between the two of us, and we know what's going on between the two of us. So I don't know. It hurt my feelings, but also, like, I can understand if you don't know, like, if you are just looking at it from the outside, it looks like I'm just like, I'm not going to go to work, and he's going to go to work, and I'm just going to sit at home like a pretty princess and do nothing but play with makeup. Not only is that wrong, but also he's the one who sat there and saw me playing with the few palettes that I had and said that I should start doing YouTube. Like, I have said this from the beginning. I used to do YouTube in high school, but he's the one who said, babe, get on YouTube and make your own videos. Do it. Like, these aren't things that me and him don't talk about. Okay, some things to note about the Jeffree Star palette. 1, lots of colors. Lots and lots and lots of colors. Some of the shades are pressed pigments, so they will stain your eye. They might stain your eye. They're very, very soft. This color was only swatched, and it's almost missing the entire logo on it. Some of them are harder than others, like Suck was swatched and it doesn't look like it's been touched at all. But definitely Cute was only swatched and it's missing almost the whole logo. Cotton Candy, very soft. I'd say pretty comparable to the formula of the Melt. I mean, Melt is still softer, but you know, especially the shimmery shades are so soft, and you want to use a lighter hand than other palettes. Super great quality. Didn't have any trouble blending any color. Just beautiful, and I am so glad I get to use it. I am so grateful to my husband for this palette. This is my first Jeffree Star palette. I love it. It is so pretty. Oh. Before my battery dies, because it's about to, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.